Chicago, 2011. A cop is murdered. Police and prosecutors swear they have the trigger man. He swears he didn't do it. How far will each side go to prove they're right?
Like it's just one bombshell after another, where you're like, what?
The story of a PlayStation, a brain-eating amoeba, and the relentless pursuit of justice. Off Duty, out now. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
This message comes from Jackson. Taxes aren't something you can only think about once a year. With investments, planning for tax day is year-round. Fortunately, Jackson offers tax-efficient products. Visit jackson.com for more information on how our products can make your tax bill a little bit less painful. Jackson is short for Jackson Financial Incorporated, Jackson National Life Insurance Company, Lansing, Michigan, and Jackson National Life Insurance Company of New York, Purchase, New York.
Howdy, howdy, ho, and welcome to Fantasy Fan Fellas. I'm Hayden, producer of the Fantasy Fangirls podcast and your resident lover of all things Sanderson.
And I'm Steven, your bookish internet goofball, but you can call me the Smash Daddy.
And we are currently deep diving Brandon Sanderson's fantasy epic, Mistborn. But here's the catch. Steven here has not read Mistborn before.
That's right, hey. So each week, you'll get my unfiltered, raw reactions to every single chapter.
And along the way, we'll do character deep dives, magic explainers, and Steven will even try to guess what's next. Spoiler alert, he'll be wrong.
Newsflash, I'm never wrong. Episodes come out every Wednesday, and you can find Fantasy Fan Fellas wherever you get your podcasts.
Hello, and welcome back to Psych Legal Pop. This is a podcast where two sisters talk about popular culture through the lens of a therapist and attorney. I'm the therapist, Tess Brigham.
And I'm Brooke Brigham. I'm the attorney.
All right. And today we're continuing our coverage of Sisterwives. We are up to season 4. Today we're talking about episodes 7 and 8. Episode 7 is Brown Boys Do Vegas, and episode 8 is No Place Like Home. Very exciting.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, the Brown Boys.
Brown Boys Do Vegas. And is it Curtis who passed away?
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very, very...
He was only 34.
So this is... The year that we're in on the show is 2012?
I don't even know. They started in 2010?
They started in 2010, and I want to say it's 2012.
At least, yeah, 2012.
And what year did he pass away? Do you have any idea?
Might have. Did I write that down?
I mean, we could look it up.
Yeah. I think... I don't know. I think it must have been shortly thereafter. Not too many years thereafter. Because I remember an episode, like, after he died where they go up to Wyoming and they were talking about it. Are you looking it up?
Yeah, but there's a lot of Curtis Browns in the world. Okay, here we go. Kody Brown, Curtis brother. 2013.
Oh.
So this is a year.
Right after
So
this.
in June 2013, Kody lost his brother, Curtis Brown. So this was 2012. So, and the episode after this is the kids going on spring break. So I want to say this is the spring-ish of 2012. So he passes away, a year a bit more. So he was 34. He dies of a tragic motorcycle accident. Curtis had previously appeared on the show in season 3, Brown Boys Do Vegas.
Season 4, actually.
Oh, yeah, they're wrong. The internet's wrong.
The internet's wrong?
The internet's
Oh my
wrong.
God.
Oh my God.
What's happening?
I know. Shocking. Yeah, it's really, really sad. And so it's Erica's brother. It's Erica's brother.
Curtis's wife, Erica.
Curtis's wife's Erica. It's her brother who's married to Maddie.
Yeah.
Am I correct in that?
Caleb.
Okay. Caleb Brush. So Erica Brush, it's Caleb Brush. Got it. Okay. Mm-hmm. Wow. Wow.
Yeah, and they're monogamous.
Yes.
Curtis and Erica.
Yes, they're monogamous.
And the other two brothers who come to visit, Michael is the youngest brother, and he lives in Utah. And he I guess, is a polygamist, but he only has one wife so far.
Yes. So we don't know if he ever takes more wives.
I don't know.
Yes.
And then the oldest brother, Scott, he's also a polygamist, and he has 2 wives and 16 children.
Yeah, he's wound real tight.
He's real tight. He lives up in Wyoming. Curtis from also in Wyoming. Kody has 9 brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
So he's the 4th out of 10. Now, is this 9 brothers and sisters total? Because his father...
Plus him. So there's 10 altogether because there's 5 girls, 5 boys.
What I mean is total of both wives. Because his dad had 2 wives up until he married Janelle's wife, but they didn't have children together. So Cody's dad had 2 wives. So is these 10 kids, is it all from Cody's biological mom?
Oh.
Or did the second wife have, maybe the second wife didn't have children? I don't know. We never hear about the second wife.
Yeah.
Ever. She does not want to be on camera. She's never been filmed. We don't know who she is.
Yeah, that's a good question, because that's actually good because you know, Scott and Curtis look a lot like Kody. I mean, these two look like they are biologically, but
Full
Michael
siblings.
doesn't. Michael, I would believe, could be a half sibling. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder if Michael is maybe the
second wife's child.
wife's kids.
Yeah.
So that's
know.
what I'm wondering.
Yeah, no, there's no talk of the second wife ever.
Yeah. But then Janelle's mom, Cody's dad and Janelle's mom never had children together.
No, she was older.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, interesting.
Huh. Yeah. Anyway, we start off, they're at Mary's house, and Cody's so excited his brothers are coming into town, so he's going to get a lot of bro time, a lot of man time. And he pulls out his motorcycle jacket because he's got a big surprise for the boys. So his Scott and Curtis are coming first, and he tells them that they're going on a motorcycle drive, and then Mary corrects him. It's a ride, not a drive.
Yeah, Kody.
Don't be a dork.
You think you're so cool. And they're going to a motorcycle bar.
Yes.
So this is like Vegas's oldest bar.
Yes. But they tell us how they used to see them all the time when they lived in Utah, but that changed when they moved to Vegas. Mm-hmm. So Curtis tells us that, you know, Kody, his older brother, taught him tons of stuff about cow tipping and bale burning. I know what cow tipping is. What is bale burning?
I think you just set bales of hay on fire.
And what's the excitement of that?
Just watching something burn.
But then wouldn't that then burn more bales and then set your whole barn on fire?
No, I think you take a bale of hay and you take it somewhere. You put it on the road or something asphalt. It's not going to burn. And then you set it on fire and you just watch it burn.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I don't have personal experience with this, but
yeah, it doesn't sound. That sounds as exciting as cow tipping.
Yeah.
But this is what's really interesting is this. Okay, so Kody says that Curtis came to him and said, you know, I really don't, you know, I in terms of the faith, right? He said, you know, I don't really believe in this faith, you know, I don't really believe in plural marriage, and I don't really believe in the Book of Mormon. And it's like, isn't that the entire religion? Isn't that
I think
everything?
So. Yeah.
And I'm like, so you don't really believe in this.
You don't believe in
this
religion or any offshoot of it.
Yeah. I was just like, so that's everything, right? I just thought it was kind of odd. I'm like, so that's everything.
Yeah, Tess, it's everything.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So as the boys are going out, So who was riding who? Like, was Kody on the back of that bike?
Oh, I highly doubt it.
Who was on the back?
Well, if Curtis is the big motorcycle, I think that Scott was on the back of. I think that Kody and Curtis were driving, and Scott was on the back of one of them.
Oh, okay.
I'm not quite sure which one.
Got it. Okay. So, while the boys were off on the motorcycles, the ladies decided to get crazy. I mean, insane.
They are going to show Erica a good time.
Oh my God. I mean, this is Vegas, people.
Yeah.
You can do anything. Everything is legal in Vegas. So you can
whatever
do
you
anything.
want.
I mean, anything you want to do, you can do in Vegas. So could you picture what you could do in Vegas? So what did they decide to do, Brooke?
They went to Color Me Mine.
I don't even think it was a Color Me Mine.
It was a off-brand color.
They couldn't even
Color Me Mine.
They couldn't even get Color Me Mime to say, okay, you can shoot here.
Yeah. Yeah. They painted pottery.
Oy vey.
And I don't know, some of them didn't take it seriously at all. I mean, did you see some of, I mean, I have to say, I've been to Color Me Mine once with Layla recently in the last couple of years. Not when she was little, but we just went because we were bored. I think it was during COVID. Because I think I remember having to wear masks. Yeah, we were very bored. And it is so relaxing.
Oh, it is?
It's very relaxing. I was skeptical, but I got in there, I picked my thing, I got my paints, and just sitting there painting, and very relaxing. But these guys, terrible artistry, didn't even really put much effort into it.
Yeah. Well, that Mary would stress me out because she's just wandering around like, I'm not creative. Like, she's one of those people that's like, I'm not creative. I don't know what to do. Like,
it's like, Mary, just pick something. She's trying to choose between all these different things.
It's like, you know what, Mary? You don't even have to pay for this. Like, the production's paying for it. Like, just pick something and just do it. Like, God, you're doing this for the camera anyway. Like, just do it.
Yeah. That was a good time.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
And Erica just loves them. She's talking about how great the Browns are, and she just loves them all.
How inviting they were, and just, oh, my God.
Yeah.
Such a welcoming family.
I like watching paint dry.
Yeah. So Kody and his bros, they go to Vegas's oldest bar, the Pioneer Saloon, which I thought was an odd choice since Scott seemed so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like,
he didn't even like being in the bar.
No.
And he and Kody order ice waters. So I think Kody goes up to the bar.
No, Kody doesn't even go up to the bar. It was Curtis that went up to the bar.
Oh, okay. Curtis went out to the bar because he ordered a beer.
Yeah.
And then he said, and 2 ice waters. And the bartender just looked at him like, okay.
Like a deer in the headlights.
Yeah.
Kind of like, and you want 2 ice waters and a shot at
3 beers, right?
Or like, and a shot of tequila, and is that like, and like he's waiting for ice water
for the rest of the order,
whiskey in it, like, yeah. And it was funny too because it's almost like Curtis had to drink his beer at the bar. It was almost like he couldn't bring his beer back to the table to drink it in front of Scott and Kody.
Oh, God.
So weird. But Scott seemed so uptight. Uptight.
He didn't want to be there.
Yeah. But then I was like, why is this?
So why would you pick that?
Why would you pick that place?
I think because they wanted to do the motorcycle theme, and production said, okay, well, there's this motorcycle bar, and it's the oldest bar in Las Vegas, and we'll do this. And so there they are. Mm-hmm. It was awkward. So and then they start, shooting the shit. And I love this. Kody, so they start talking about the plans to build. Yeah. Scott says, so are you still going to build that house or whatever? And Cody's like, yeah, well, we qualify for the loans.
God, I love Cody's loan talk.
Yeah. We qualify, but we still have to talk to our realtor to find 4 homes together. And then Scott explains how Scott's responsible. He actually has 2 homes right next door to each other.
Yes. 1
for each wife. Doesn't seem to have problems.
No.
Seems like low stress.
Well, they're in Wyoming, right? I mean, I can't imagine what the proper, how much is a house in Wyoming?
I don't know.
But 16 kids between 2 women? Oof. That's a lot of kids.
That's a lot of kids per wife.
Yeah.
So
And then, did you hear that Kody makes a joke about dad mortgaging the ranch? I don't know how much he was joking. I think he was kind of feeling at his brothers, like, what do you think about that? And then the brothers laughed. And he's like,
Scott said, fat chance of that.
yeah, like, please, that's not happening. And they're all like, I was just kidding. Okay.
No, I'm not really serious.
I
don't need that. I qualify. And then Curtis says that he's a simple guy and he needs a simple life. Kody is a complicated guy. He needs a complicated life. And never has anyone summed up Kody more than in that one sentence.
Yes, he did. He really did.
Makes me sad. Curtis, he's like the rational, reasonable one,
Yeah, he is.
So
I wonder where Erica is now. Like, I mean, obviously, because she's still part of the family because of Caleb.
Yeah.
I wonder if she ever remarried.
I don't know.
I mean, obviously,
Maybe.
she's Maddie's sister-in-law, so I wonder.
I'm sure we could do some internet sleuthing and find out, but
anyway, so they get back. They're like, "Ooh, it's getting dark. We better get back."
Oh, and then Kody says to Curtis, "Are you sober enough to drive?" And Curtis is just thinking, "You dumb shit. I had one beer over like an hour and a half. Yeah, I think I'm fine."
Well, and it was in this tiny little. They were tiny little like mason jars. So when they get there, it was kind of weird. I thought what they were saying was that like Michael, the youngest brother, was going to come the next day. I thought they said, "Oh, Michael's coming tomorrow morning," but then
he got there that night.
God, the whole timing of the show always perplexes me. So anyway, Michael is there and he's married. And he's very young, though. He's like 24.
Yeah.
So he's 19 years younger than Kody.
And of course, Aurora runs to the door to greet him.
Of course.
But she doesn't even know him. Yeah. Has she ever even met him before?
No. Of course not. I mean, when would she have ever met him?
Yeah. She runs up to him and just hugs him, this grown man. It's like, calm down.
Jeez, Aurora. God.
And then Robyn launches into this explanation as to how Michael will find another wife. She does her Robyn-splaining.
Yes.
Talks about how, someone will say something to someone and then someone will let him know she's interested. And I'm like, shut up.
Well, but the thing is that he makes Michael's married and he makes this big joke about, I've got to go find a second wife. And everyone laughs. And I guess apparently in the Plig community, I've got to find a second wife is the big joke. Like, they make this joke a lot. I've got to find another wife is a big Plig joke.
You mean regardless of how many wives you already have?
Apparently. But it's like this big joke. And they joke about it constantly.
What does that mean? What's the meaning? Why do you need another wife? Like, what is that?
No, I think it's like this joke. But I think Michael made that joke. He made the joke a few times about finding another wife.
But how is it a joke? I don't understand. Like,
I think it's almost this like, let's get out there and meet people.
Gotta get another wife. Like, that's what we do.
Wife. I think it's almost this, let's get out into the world and meet people. I think it's, let's go pick up. I think it's almost like this let's go out and mix and mingle and I don't know. I don't get it. Not a funny joke. No, but I think it's
people.
I think it's I think in their world they think it's super funny.
Yeah, clearly.
Because they've made the joke and they ask Michael about it many times. Like, they asked him about it at dinner, they asked him about it here, they asked him about it there, about how like, when are you taking another wife? When are you doing this? When are you doing that?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Oh, and then, oh God, here we go. Kody tells his brothers in Las Vegas, you can rent machine guns. And they're all elated. They just can't believe it. And of course, Kody got that gun, that machine gun for Christmas, and they flash back to that. And he is so giddy when he gets that. Even Christine says, this is the happiest I've ever seen you. And it's like, yeah, it is.
So all the brothers, they all go to the shooting range And
this is the beginning of their guys' night out.
Yes. So they all go to this. God, I didn't even know they had these things. So they have this shooting range where you can shoot assault rifles. So apparently in Vegas, you can go to a gun range and shoot assault rifles. So they all get these assault rifles.
Yeah.
And just start shooting them.
Yeah. These same guns that slaughter children in schools.
Yes. So they're just, assault rifles,
so much fun.
Just shooting. And so at the same time, all the ladies and the young kids are at Janelle's house and they're making sushi.
I would never peg the Browns to be making sushi.
Well, Erica tries sushi for the first time. She'd never tried sushi before. And she said it was okay. I mean, I really think she was eating an avocado roll. I don't think she was eating raw fish. I think it looked like it was just avocado and rice.
Vegetables and
maybe the seaweed on the outside. Anyway, it was just, and then after the boys shot the shit out of a bunch of,
after they destroyed a bunch of targets.
Yes. The boys went to a nice dinner at Don Vito's. Ooh. Do you notice that, of course, I guess Michael doesn't drink either, because I guess he also, and so Curtis was the only one drinking. And so they all went out to dinner, and I guess we didn't see any more of what was happening at home. We just got to see them eat sushi, and that was it.
That was it.
And then the best, we're back to Sunday morning.
Oh, home church.
But this was hands down my favorite, was Janelle's comment. Did you remember this?
Oh, something about how if it's nice to have other people talking besides Kody, basically.
Yes. So Cody's up there and he's the pastor. And Janelle's like, she's happy when there's someone new because she is sick of listening to the same people.
And by same people
she means Kody.
I've never seen anybody else besides Kody speak at these home church things.
She's talking about, she's like, the same people. And she kind of is like, I mean, she's saying, she means them, but she's really talking about Kody.
Yeah.
And then she said, I don't know who said that Curtis was really the one that, had such a great thing to say, but they said that Curtis was talking about accepting each other's faith and all of this other kind of stuff. I was just like,
I didn't get that out of what he said. I don't know. I didn't.
Nothing any of them said was that deep.
No. And they're reading these scriptures and then interpreting them, and it's like, okay, I guess, I don't know.
But none of these scriptures that, I mean, I don't know. I don't want to insult anybody.
No, I just didn't understand the scriptures. Like, from what I heard them say, maybe we didn't hear enough to get the same message out of it. But,
anyway. God, these Sunday mornings, I mean, the kids just look like they're just like,
Yeah, Savannah was working on some project. She was very busy. She was busy doing something. She was clearly not paying attention and just doing other things.
But all the kids look so like bleary-eyed and just like, oh God, this is torture.
Yeah,
McKelty apparently took, McKelty she had a whole stand last season about not wanting to do this on TV, but
and
somehow
there she was.
Somehow they made her do this. I mean, but they all looked like, this is
they
torture.
Probably get them up so early. And
on a Sunday, and they're all like, Truly's wearing a little dress, and they're all in Sunday best, and God, to just sit around with each other, and
your same family you see every day,
And then Janelle gets really weepy when thinking about Logan going off to college soon, and she worries that she hasn't communicated enough why she has chosen this faith, because it has brought her a lot of joy. And I'm thinking to myself, really? Because you really
Where's the joy?
I'm sorry, the show, you're now on 17 seasons of the show. I don't feel like I've seen a lot of joy from you, Janelle.
And Janelle left. She moved out when the kids were really young. I think before Savannah and Gabriel were even born. Remember, she left and she talked about this in the book. She had her own place for like 2 years. And when Kody and I guess Mary and Christine, they went to Utah, they moved to Utah, Janelle stayed behind. And she only moved to Utah when they got that big polygamous house.
Yeah. So I was that comment really surprised me, because I was like, wait a second, Janelle. Like, this has all brought you so much joy.
Well, I mean, it's brought her. I mean, she has her children, and she had Christine to help her raise her children. Those are the only positives that I can see.
I think it's brought her joy I think it's brought her joy in the sense that she's been able to have a career, and she's been able to have a family.
Yeah.
And she's been able to have 6 kids in a career, which is, very
hard
rare.
to do. Yeah.
And it's hard to do. And she's been able to, not miss a beat. But I don't know if you've felt a lot of joy with this marriage and a lot of joy in all of this. And you and Mary have never really gotten along.
That terrible relationship.
And, we just, you're telling this guy to fuck off. And, I don't know, really.
Well, again, I think a lot of the things that these guys say is just to put on the facade to keep the show going. Because if the whole premise of the show is polygamy is great. Look, we're so happy. They have to keep up that facade no matter what, and they have to say things.
But but Janelle, these are real tears from Janelle. Or do you think that it's more of...
Is she crying?
Yeah, but she gets weepy. It's hard. I mean, listen.
Well, I think she's more weepy about Logan
leaving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Kody makes a comment about that it's going to be hard if my kids don't choose my faith. And I'm like, well, look out, Kody.
Yeah.
Just wait.
Just you wait.
Not a single one of them.
And then the brothers all leave. I'm like, didn't you guys just get here?
Well, they said they were only there for the weekend.
But the weekend, I feel like they all just got there on Saturday. I feel like Scott and Curtis and his wife got there Saturday morning. Michael got there Saturday night. It's Sunday after church.
Oh, that's true.
Did you all just drive there from Wyoming and Utah? And you're now all having to drive back?
They did drive because Michael just walked in. They didn't go pick him up at the airport.
So you
he
all
just walked up to the front door.
And then for 12 hours, and then you're all driving back?
I think so.
You've got to be kidding me.
Well, Michael probably had to work. Michael probably had to work the next day.
I know. Well, but production can't pay for you all to fly? That's crazy.
Some people prefer to, maybe they prefer to drive. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Seems crazy to me, but
anyway,
it's a lot. But you know what? They don't have any time for this because Mona is coming
they're
over.
Meeting with Mona
now.
And Kody keeps saying that they're qualified. He said qualified like so many times, and I'm like, you are not qualified for anything, sir.
All right. So I have a question because I think I'm confused. So these homes that they talked about last weekend, they talked about last time. Where the house sold, that cul-de-sac. That place, that's never the place that they ever moved into.
Oh, no. The cul-de-sac they moved into is at the other end of the street.
And this is the one Mona's talking about now. Okay.
Yes.
That I was very confused about that because I thought that was the one that they eventually moved into.
No.
Okay. Got it. I understand now. So Mona is now over. And they're at Christine's house and they're talking about, and the other thing that I'm so confused about is Kody keeps talking about how Tanya did such a great job, with that. I'm like, how did she do such a great job? I mean, I don't know what these people do quite, but aren't you just kind of putting their names?
You're matching a lender with a borrower.
Yeah. I mean, is that really much of a job? You're just basically...
If you're a person who doesn't qualify for conventional financing, then
you're just searching for people. You're
trying to find. You find a private lender, and you approach. You have a kind of a cachet of private lenders. Maybe you work with, and then you approach them and say, "Hey, I have these borrowers, and this is what they need." And then the private lender basically dictates the terms. And says, well, I'll do it for, this amount down, this amount interest, whatever. So it's just matching people up and then facilitating the process. But for the Brown situation, I mean, basically she said, yeah, we have a private lender here, but still then they need to come up with the money still.
But is she doing that great of a job? I mean, great job would be if she came back and said, hey, they can't put 40% down. How about 20% down? That's a great job. A great job is convincing this private lender to like give him a great deal.
He's just talking out of his ass. He doesn't know what he's talking about. I mean, I'm sure Tanya Cobbler or whatever her name is. I'm sure she's a fine.
I'm sure she's great at her job.
you know.
I just kind of feel like, I mean, these people, I don't know.
Cody's just talking.
All right.
Just talking it up.
All right. Anyway.
So Mona is saying that, you know, because this is just a vacant lot at this point, then there's a lot of time to get traditional financing. So they have time to maybe clean up their credit, pay off whatever debts, do whatever they need to do. But what I don't understand, and I don't understand how this works in the building industry. If somebody hadn't already, well, I think I just answered my own question. I guess the builder, the developer is going to build these houses regardless and then just sell them to somebody, not necessarily the Browns, because the Browns haven't put anything down or given them any money, and they're going to start building.
Yeah.
You know, so they're still not locked in. You know what I mean? They still have to, the building is going to start. But if they don't get it together and they don't put in an offer and they don't get those, someone else, just like the last one, someone else could sweep in and come along. But they make it sound like this is a done deal. You guys are going to have, 4 houses on this cul-de-sac. And I'm like,
I don't know if it's like a done deal, but I think what Mona's saying is like, listen,
Kody thinks it is.
Oh, of course. Yeah. Well, of course. But what Mona's basically saying is, listen, you guys,
get it together.
Get realistic, essentially. Right. Like, get realistic. You can't afford to do non-traditional lending. You don't have enough money. Like, clean up your credit. Like, But then she also tells them that if they clean up their credit, they could get financing it for only 5 to 10% down. How did we go from 40% to 5 to 10% down? That didn't make sense to me. But I think she was saying it could be possible.
That it could, yeah.
You could, if you could clean up your credit, if you could
come up with some money,
get it together, people.
Yeah.
That could happen. But I would think that like these builders, I think, right? I think a lot of different things happen, right? That they purchase this land, they build these properties, and I think it happens in a lot of different ways. I think sometimes you have to build the whole thing and then sell it. Right. I think sometimes people see the lot and then say, I'll take the lot. Mm-hmm. And then I think other times, you have to build it. So,
yeah. Well,
yeah. I don't know. I think I think it's pretty risky though, right? I mean, it's you're putting a lot out, buying the land, building the thing, risking a lot. Yeah. You're taking a huge risk.
That's business.
Yep, that is.
And I think that's the end of that episode.
Yeah, but I think it was Robyn who said it's a second chance at hoping.
Oh God.
Whatever the hell that means. Second chance at hoping. All right, so they're gonna start working on cleaning up their credit and paying off their debts and figuring that out. But okay, so I'm glad you explained to me about that cul-de-sac, because I kept thinking that it was this other cul-de-sac, and I kept thinking like, oh God, so someone's gonna have to drop. I kept thinking like, oh, so that person's gonna have to drop out of that house, and this is gonna happen, and blah 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 blah. So this is why we have to spend 9 trillion seasons with these houses, because we are literally going to have to watch these from the studs up.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yep. It's going to take a while.
Yep, it is. All right. And we're going to have to listen to the wet bar talk for a long, long time. All right. So we're now on episode 8. This is No Place Like Home. So in this episode, it's spring break. And Hunter, Leon, and Maddie, and Logan, all 4 of them are going back to Utah for spring break. Woohoo!
Woohoo! Whip it up.
Some people go to Cancun. Some people go to Jamaica. I mean, listen, some people go to Hawaii, but you know what? No. The Brown kids are going to Utah.
Going to Lehi.
Yep, going to Lehi. And Logan says, this is going to be epic. All right. So now, of course, we've got to rehash. We've got to go back in time. We've got to see scenes from season 2 when they had to flee Utah from, they had to flee Utah from the police car that drove by their house.
For some unrelated reason.
Yes, because there was a cat stuck in a tree down the street. And then, of course, we had to see, the one reporter set up across the streets. And then, one person saying, is your dad going to go to jail? And then the transition into Vegas. And then we get some scenes of like Mopey Hunter. I don't like my life. This sucks. I hate it here. And we get to see like Maddie, like, just didn't want like it here. And then we get a rehash of how the kids were unhappy, but then they started to like it here and accept Vegas. And then we get to see the pool party and all the kids are happy again. And so we get a 2-minute sort of clip package fill in of everything that we've seen in the last 2 years, or the last 2 seasons, I should say. So the adults, the parents, feel like it's safe for the kids to go back to Utah now because they feel like they'll actually come back.
Well, and they got producers traveling with them that are going to make sure they come home.
Yeah.
But they all comment that, it used to be much more difficult to visit Utah, and coming back to Las Vegas would always be sad and difficult. But they're saying it's a lot easier now, because they've gotten used to it. They've made new friends. They've accepted that, they're not going back to Utah, or at least until they graduate from high school. And Logan, the wise one that he is talking about how, they're now farther away from that experience, and there's less and less of a pull to be in Utah. And, they're friends from Utah. They're still their friends, but they're just, they've made new friends.
Yes. I wrote down this quote from Logan that I thought was so interesting because I never heard it put this way. Logan says, when you're not around to cultivate relationships, they don't necessarily die. They just get less reliant. You rely on them less. I'm like,
he's so smart.
Oh, that Logan. I was just like,
so emotionally aware.
Yes.
Gosh.
So bright.
He is. How
they produced you, I don't know.
I don't know.
How Kody produced you, I could see Janelle, I get. So they drive over and they go to Grandma Bonnie's, which is Mary's mom. And we get to see some of Mary's family. We get to see, I started writing down these family members. I'm like, oh God, there's tons of them.
Well, there's Uncle Mark, who's Mary's brother. He's the one I think who opens the door. And then Uncle Nathan is Mary's brother-in-law. So I think he's married to Mary's sister, who was also there. And then Uncle Adam, that's Janelle's ex-husband, Mary's brother.
Oh, it is?
Yeah. Oh. He's the one with the white shirt.
Oh, I almost want to go back and look now. I didn't even make that connection.
He's kind of the bigger guy, and he was sitting on the couch with Leon, I believe.
I always forget that she was married before.
Yeah.
I always wonder what happened there.
That's Janelle's ex.
I wonder how Mary feels about all that. I wonder if there's some tension between Mary and Janelle because of that.
Oh, there has to be. There has to be. And I think that, because, Janelle might have broken his heart,
Yeah.
And I think, because I believe, I think Mary might have even introduced Janelle to him. So yeah, there's more there that.
Well, and here's my other question. The whole thing was that Kody had this big issue with Robyn, right? Because she was quote unquote divorced. Well, did you have that issue with Janelle? Because she's quote unquote divorced.
It was more that she was divorced with kids. I think if she was just divorced, it wouldn't have been an issue. I think it was because she had kids. And that's that's a lot to take on. And then because there's a father, out there who could complicate things and did complicate things to a certain extent, I think. But anyway, we're learning a lot of origin stories.
Yes,
here.
we are. All right. So this whole April Fool's thing is so weird.
It is weird, but it was funny at the end.
It was. So it turns out that Leon spent the night at their cousin Haley's house. So, and I guess apparently they kept, like, Maddie and Logan, they kept trying to call Leon, but they wouldn't respond. So they decided to play, and it's April Fool's. So they decided to play this April Fool's joke. So the other kids, they decided to tell Leon that Hunter got arrested for being out past curfew with alcohol. Oh, which I guess is a big deal in Utah.
Oh, yes.
And a big deal for them.
A big deal to Leon.
And a very big deal
because
to
Leon is, the goody two shoes,
Yes.
wants to be a polygamist.
And very judgy. So this, I was just, and they do these previews of like what's coming up.
Yeah.
And I kind of turned my head and I didn't know who had thrown the stuff down. At first I thought it was Robyn. And I was like, oh God, I can't wait to see who this is. So Leon comes back home. It's the morning time. So Maddie says, oh my God, where have you been? We have to tell you, Hunter's been arrested. He was out past curfew with alcohol, and Leon is so dramatic. It was just the funniest.
They lose their shit.
And they just, everything in their hand, like their pillow, their phone, and their bag, they just throw everything down, like dramatically, like just, oh my God, and just storm off.
Yeah.
Like, where are you going?
Yeah. What are you going to do?
Yeah. I mean, what is happening here? And just freak out.
Yeah. And then Maddie and Logan are cracking up, like
They're
trying not to laugh out loud.
And so did they call Mary and tell Mary to like stay on the jokes? Because they knew that Leon would call Mary about it?
Oh, I don't remember that.
Because I think they told me, I think they got
They
Mary
said
in
if
on
Leon
it.
calls you, play along with this. Well, pretty soon thereafter, Hunter walks in.
Yeah, but they told Hunter to be in on the joke because Leon says to Hunter, are you stupid? How dumb are you? Like, Leon starts yelling at Hunter, and they told, I think they told Mary to say, like, our trip is over. Because they were going to tell they were going to tell Leon, like, hey, our trip's over. We have to go home. And of course, Leon's like, what? Our trip's over. And I think by then they were like, okay, they're sufficiently freaked out.
It's gone far enough. Yeah. And they say April Fools.
But I have to say they took it pretty well. Like they kind of like,
yeah,
as quickly as they got dramatic, they kind of took it. They took it well.
Yeah. That's a pretty good joke.
It was, but it's a lot. I mean, I understand.
Leon is wound pretty tight as well.
Yeah, Leon's wound pretty tight. And I don't know. I don't know if it's just being 16 or what. But Leon is wound.
Dramatic.
I think it's the only, I don't know if it's the only child thing or not, but a little dramatic.
Yeah. Anyway, that's the end of the spring break trip.
No, there's more to it.
There is?
Oh, yeah. We got to see the picnic.
They go on that picnic. I didn't write it down.
Yeah. No, I did. I have some thoughts about that.
All right.
But keep going.
No, go ahead. I didn't even write that down.
No, that happens later. Okay.
Well, I just have down, I don't know if this was interspersed.
It is.
Oh, okay. Because the next thing I have written down is the big Sisterwives closet meeting.
Oh, yes. Because you know what, Brooke? Robyn is just like Martin Luther King. She has a dream. And her dream...
Is that what she said?
Yeah. Robyn, no, she doesn't say I'm just like Martin Luther King. I'm saying Robyn has a dream. It's to open a women's boutique type business. These are her words. She's always wanted to open a women's boutique type business.
A boutique type business.
Yes, a boutique.
What does that mean?
I don't know. I'm just boutique type business. I'm just quoting her.
Well, her doodles are awful.
Okay, so can I just say that? So she's got all these doodles, and that
her designs. Excuse me.
I'm sorry. Her designs. So they're all meeting. So they're having their first My Sister Wife's Closet meeting with all the wives and Kody, and they're having this meeting, and they're all talking about. We kind of get this rehash of how over the holidays she designed these things for all the wives and these little trinkets and these. They were all necklaces or bracelets.
Necklaces.
So she gave everyone these necklaces, and they want to do this business, right? Which we all know about. So they're talking about the hearts and everyone, and Janelle keeps talking about how the hearts are trite. Like, we don't want hearts because everyone has hearts. You can get hearts anywhere. But Janelle keeps pointing to this one. Do you know what? She kept pointing to this one. I'm sorry, those things look like boobs.
Yeah.
They were like these weird kind of, and it's hard to describe.
It's like a half a heart, and then sometimes they'd be like kind of
merged together.
And
they
bunched
basically
together.
looked like boobs.
Yeah.
I was just like, why would anyone want to wear boobs?
No, they don't look like anything.
Yeah, it doesn't look like anything, but your mind could be, it looked like either like a sideways E or upside down boobs or like waves
whatever
It was
ugly.
weird. It was not nice. It was not good.
She's not an artist. She's not a designer.
But yeah, they're really, really, but they're cheap looking, and they're not very sophisticated. They're very juvenile looking. I mean, this is the kindest way for me to say it is they're very young looking. And I think that's the problem, is that they want to make these very expensive, they want to create this very expensive brand jewelry with this sterling silver, these really expensive materials, but really they probably should have gotten very cheap materials and made them really inexpensive because they're kind of young looking.
Yeah, and also I believe that the ones they were selling, once they got this business up and running, the ones they were selling, I mean, these pendants, I don't know if they came with the necklace or not, but I mean, they're like over $100.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, yeah, I think the big thing we'll see later on was they were getting tons of traffic but no sales.
Yeah.
And the problem was that everything was super expensive. And the thing was that what they needed to do, they needed to have a wide variety of price points. And they needed to get really because the things were so juvenile, they needed to get really, really inexpensive materials. And that's a bit of the problem, as anybody who ever has a business that knows, is when you make it, they want to, they have this Brandon Adams guy that we see very quickly. That's why people always outsource things to other countries, it's really hard to have things in this country.
And as we know, they don't have any money to invest. I mean, that's the thing. If you're starting a business, you have to have money to buy the materials and
you'd have to do a huge bulk thing in another country, have it shipped to this country. Yeah. It would be huge.
They have no money.
All right. Anyway, they're looking at a bunch of stuff. So they make this connection that the SW Sisterwives is strong women.
Oh, God.
And then Brandon Adams comes over. He's the jewelry designer. He doesn't mind working with polygamists. I'm like, yeah, you're going to pay him. I'd go work with you too. Yeah. I mean, if you're going to pay me whatever I make, yeah, I'm going to work with you. I don't care. So Kody likes the idea of this because there's very little startup costs, unlike the gym. And Janelle seems kind of bent out of shape about that because she's really into the gym. But she just says, we need money coming in. But while the kids are away, they all go miniature golfing. And then there's this whole thing about how the miniature golf thing is so stupid. There's this whole thing about like how Christine likes to cheat. So this is the whole thing back to the kids. So they go to Utah Lake near Lehi where the 4 teens go hiking. And then we get into this whole thing about how Leon talks about how parents always told them to make, that they can make their own choices, that they plan on being in a plural marriage, but they also want to be a doctor. So they decide to have a picnic, and it's very, very cold. And Hunter is not happy at all. And Hunter just incessantly complains. And so Logan, of course, is being Logan, and he tries to make the best of it. And so he says to Hunter, drink a big glass of man the fuck up. And so Janelle says, Logan has been experimenting lately using language he shouldn't because he knows it shocks people. And that he's really maxed out with Hunter right now. And Christine says that in Vegas, they hear swear words more often than in Utah. Ooh. But he should be inspiring his brothers, not F-bombing them. Now,
oh my God.
And then Kody says, Logan's big responsibility is to be a gentleman. And I'm like, no, you know what his premier responsibility has been? To be a fucking parent.
Yeah.
And I'm going to fucking use the fucking F word.
You can F-bomb.
Okay. You know what I think about all this? This is what I want to say about all this. Hunter was being a little bitch.
Yeah.
Complaining incessantly. And if I was Logan, I also would tell him to man the fuck up and shut up. And I'm sorry, Janelle. He's not experimenting with language. He's tired. He is exhausted.
He's burnt out.
He's been a parent for 17 years. He's in the home stretch.
Yeah.
He's got senioritis. He's got parentitis. He is exhausted and he just wants to finish up this parenting role and go to college already. He's not doing anything. He's tired. And so what he wants to swear? What is the big friggin' deal? He's almost an adult.
And you know what? And
so what?
Full circle. Here's Janelle telling Kody to fuck off.
Yes.
In the trailer for season 18.
Yeah.
So, chill out, Janelle. Again, I think a lot of this is their fake...
fake faith.
Their fake faith. Their fake, their fake faith, the polygamy for the show, like what,
like
he
so should be inspiring. Yeah. We're not. Oh no, we don't swear. Oh no.
This family has been covering up their true, feelings, their true nature on a lot of issues for many years. This is just another piece of just bullshit.
Yeah, I could not believe that. I was just like, you've got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
And then and Leon was getting on Logan. I'm like, God damn it, Leon, are you kidding me? You are you are the only child.
Yeah, you haven't had to take care of anybody.
You have not had to take care of anybody. Your mother gets a huge chunk of, you're the only child in this entire family that's always had an only room. Mm-hmm. Logan has had to deal with, he has been listening to Hunter complain incessantly
for his whole life.
The last 2 years, especially since they moved to Vegas.
Yeah.
He just wants to have his picnic and enjoy his goddamn life. It's just like, God, shut up. Ugh. Yeah. And then my question was, where's Aspen?
She's home taking care of.
No, but have you seen? I have not seen her at all. I did not see her at mini golf. I've not seen her at all.
I think I saw her in that home church scene.
Okay. I feel like, I'm like, God, where has she been?
Well, she's
got a lot of responsibility.
She has truly still very young, Yeah. Anyway.
Oh, sorry. So, sorry. These are my notes. Leon says, well, I'm not taking you home to Logan. And Logan's like, Logan's like, Leon holds themselves to a higher standard when it comes to swearing. And then the teens go and they see their old Lehi at home and blah, blah, blah. And and then they get into this whole thing about like, then they get into the whole thing about how they all need to be under one roof together and blah, blah, blah.
Well, I love that. So when they walk into the old home and Hunter says that it looks a lot better than when they lived there. And so they kind of juxtapose some old footage.
Yeah.
And it does look better. It's a lot cleaner.
Yes.
Because there's not 17 kids living there.
Yes,
you know, there's maybe just a couple of kids.
But what I don't understand is, so they didn't have to sell that home in order to pay for their new life here? I mean, that's the part I don't understand. It's like, did they own that home outright? Were they renting that home? Like,
well,
how is that possible?
Mary's sister is living there.
So is it a rental or do you own it? Do you own it outright? Like, you didn't need to sell it?
Well, I think they owned it. They did own it. They probably didn't have a lot of equity in it. So it's not like selling it would have done them any good. And so, and they had to move right away. It's not like they could just wait for the house to sell. I think they didn't have a lot of equity in it, so it wouldn't be worth it to sell it. They may have even been upside down in it.
Oh.
And so they just, had family move in. The family probably paid them rent. And then they eventually sold it at some point.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my guess.
Okay. Oh, but the family must have had to then take over the mortgage then.
Well, I don't know. I mean, maybe the rent covered the mortgage. I mean, obviously the mortgage is in somebody's name. I don't.
Yeah, because I mean,
who knows whose name it's in? But like, let's say the mortgage is $2,000 and you just charge $2,000 in rent, and that just covers the mortgage.
Yeah, I was just saying that as they were fleeing, I mean, who's taking over these payments? I mean, finite resources. You're paying this mortgage while you're fleeing.
Well, yeah, at least. Well, remember it took them a while. They had to go back because they didn't even take all their stuff. Remember, they had to go back, get the rest of their stuff. So as soon as they got their stuff out.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, there was a couple months in there probably where they were
having to pay that mortgage and pay those rents and the vault. Cannot imagine so much. I mean, paying all that. Cannot imagine paying for rents and then for I just can't imagine.
No. Well.
Anyway. Next, do you know what the next episode is?
What?
It's like Mary's fertility decision. I'm like, oh, Jesus. I think they're going to Mexico.
Go to Mexico.
I'm like, oh, Jesus, God.
Well, finally, at least we can get past this.
I don't know if she makes a decision. Hopefully she does. Please, God, make a decision.
I have a vague recollection that, she really doesn't make a definitive decision.
No, because she's going to string this out.
And that comes later when I think this, I could be totally wrong, but I remember it that Kody actually at a certain point says, you know what? I'm making the decision. I don't want to do this. That's what I remember, but we'll see.
Yeah.
But I wanted to talk about a little bit more about Gwen's wedding since the photos when we recorded last week, she had just gotten married like the night before.
Yeah. And there were no photos
There were no photos. So photos started coming out, and it was very interesting because there was a big group photo that most of the people, well, I guess like Maddie and her family and Savannah, who's living with them, they did not come out from North Carolina. But everybody else was in the photo except for Kody, Robyn, and their kids. Even David Woolley was in the photo.
Oh, yes, of course.
Leon was there. Mary was there. Although one of the photos, Mary's was in the group photo and one was not. There were two versions of it.
Yeah, apparently. And then one was she was like, it looked like someone photoshopped her in. It was very weird.
Because McKelty, who hates Mary.
Oh.
She posted.
McKelty hates Mary?
She hates her. She said, I remember when I saw one of their Patreon episodes where she talked about how Mary would never be a part of her life or her children's lives, like ever. She hates Mary. So McKelty posted a version with no Mary. And then other people were posting a version where it's got the photoshopped Mary in there. And it was so weird. That's still kind of a mystery. So everyone was like, oh my God, Kody and Robyn didn't even come. But then later, Gwen posted a video where they were doing karaoke and like in the background, in the corner, kind of blurry, but it was very clearly Robyn and Kody.
Oh.
And they're sitting on one of the couches. Robyn is holding a child who I think maybe be Avalon.
Okay.
And then Kody was holding, I think, one of the twin, of course, these are all McKelty's kids. She's the only one who likes him. Holding one of the twins and feeding the baby a bottle. And he's got his feet up.
Oh, God.
Total man spreading. Legs spread like as far as you could spread them up on this table with his feet on the table. It was the most like disgusting display of ego and just whatever. It was gross. That was them. So they were there. I don't know at what point they got there. They obviously did not want to be in the family
they didn't want to be on the
group
big pictures,
photo, which I think is petty as fuck.
Yep.
Maybe there is another group photo out there with them in it that just hasn't circulated, but I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, and people were commenting on how David Woolley, like Logan had his arm around David.
They were all sitting together. They were all laughing.
People really like David. He's very much included. I'm very curious to see how Kody feels about that, and definitely how he feels about Christine in her strapless fuchsia
pantsuit.
It was a pantsuit with the tattoo.
Gosh,
I don't know what she and David are doing on the dance floor, but like, I mean,
Yeah.
I am very curious. And that, what else was I going to, it'll come back to me, but,
Well, I feel like the negotiations about the photos and all that must have been quite, because you know that had to be negotiated, probably in advance about,
yeah, because David was at the very end. He was at the very, very end of the photo. So I get the sense
as he should be. He's the new member of the family. Let Christine have her moment with her daughter. It's not about him.
Yeah. But usually in those sort of instances, I mean, our parents are divorced, and when we took family photos for my wedding, like it was my parents, that step parents weren't in the, like it was my parents in the middle, and it's like that's kind of how it is, and I understand that, and I think the sense that I get is they just told David to join, and I think they had him join, which I totally get, but you would think that then Kody would be in the middle with Christine. That's usually what people do. So that's the part that's really odd. Yeah. Is why wouldn't Kody be in the middle with Gwen? And it's Beatrice, right? Why isn't he and Beatrice's parents? I don't see.
I never saw her family.
Why aren't they in the middle? That's usually how it is. So,
well,
that's very interesting.
Yeah. Look, I'm just surprised that so many of them, given everything that's happened, that so many of them were there. And, I'm glad Kody and Robyn did come, because if they didn't, that would have been really fucked up. I don't know if their kids were there. I don't know.
Oh, like Dayton and Aurora.
Yeah, and then Solomon and Ariella.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how close they are to Gwen. I mean, they might also, Oh, the other thing is I saw that Janelle posted a picture of Logan and Logan's wife, and she made some sort of comment about, like, kind of saying they love being aunts and uncles.
Yeah,
so
she said, kids, before you say anything.
Yeah. So I get the sense that Logan is not going to have children, which, again, don't blame him. I think Logan's like, I've had enough. So I hope Logan enjoys his life and has a great life, and he's raised enough children.
Yeah.
To last a lifetime. And apparently he's met a woman who also does not want to have children.
Yeah.
So.
Or at least not right now, that things could change or whatever. But it's just a lot of pressure, especially coming from a big family like that. The pressure to have kids. And when are you going to have kids? And you're a public figure. And so, I think she's just trying to just shut people off.
Yep.
Shut it down.
Yeah.
And then let's see what else is happening. I'm now following all these people on Instagram.
Yeah, I got to start following them all before the new season starts. I got to start getting on that.
But McKelty is doing Plexus now.
Oh, she is?
Yeah, because she and Tony lost a bunch of weight, which I don't think is from Plexus.
Well, yes. So I can't remember who was talking about this, but apparently the rumor is...
Ozempic.
That apparently the two of them lost a bunch of weight, that it's not from Plexus, that it's from like Ozempic or one of these other weight loss drugs. That I think I heard this from, did you hear this from Shit Talk? Yeah. That's what Ace and Caitlin were saying, that they...
Well, because it happened so quickly.
Yeah, that they lost a bunch of weight from like one of these weight loss drugs, and that they're claiming it's Plexus, which is what a lot of celebrities do this too, right? Yeah. But they're claiming it's Plexus. I don't even know what Plexus is or what it does, but I don't think that Plexus can help you lose that much weight.
I don't even think Plexus is marketed
meant to be that way.
Yeah, it's not marketed as a weight loss thing. It's basically these drinks that have stuff in them. I don't know what it is, that give you energy. Like, they're different kinds, and there's ones for just like the gummies, like Courtney's gummies. Like, one is supposed to give you energy, one is supposed to help like level your blood sugar, one is supposed to chill you out, whatever. It's no different than all these other supplements. It's a supplement. You just drink it. So I don't think it promises any weight loss.
Yeah.
And then Isabel, I think, has a boyfriend.
Oh.
She posted something that looked like a rollout of a boyfriend.
Oh, good. Oh, that's nice. I'm happy for her.
Yeah, and Christine's backyard is taking shape.
Yes, that is good. Well, I'm happy. She's happy. I just want to see. I want to see Janelle. I don't necessarily think Janelle needs to have a boyfriend or a partner or whatever, but I'd like to see Janelle, like, buy a home or.
Well, she wants to, I'm sure.
Have her own backyard and her own stuff.
She's still living in this little student apartment.
I want to see her out of the student apartment. I want to see her find love. I want to see her or build something that she really wants. I want to see season 19 be Janelle's redemption or Janelle's rising or whatever it is. So,
well, that was a lot.
yes, it was. Whew, boy. All right. Well, let's wrap it up. Very exciting. Can't wait for the new season.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for joining us today. So if you like this podcast and enjoyed it and you are not subscribed, please hit the subscribe button so that you do not even have to think, hey,
What day is
it today?
comes out?
Yes. And have I downloaded Psych Legal Pop? You don't even have to think about it. You just hit subscribe. We are here every Monday right now and just like that. And every Tuesday is the Sister Wives Rewind. If you enjoy this podcast, please give us a 5-star review and say a few kind words. And we are on social media at Psych Legal Pop on Instagram and TikTok. And I think that's it. Oh, tell a friend, tell a few friends, tell 10 friends, spread the word. And now I think that's it.
Okay.
All right. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Howdy, howdy, ho, and welcome to Fantasy Fan Fellas. I'm Hayden, producer of the Fantasy Fangirls podcast and your resident lover of all things Sanderson.
And I'm Steven, your bookish internet goofball, but you can call me the Smash Daddy.
And we are currently deep diving Brandon Sanderson's fantasy epic, Mistborn. But here's the catch. Steven here has not read Mistborn before.
That's right, hey. So each week, you'll get my unfiltered, raw reactions to every single chapter.
And along the way, we'll do character deep dives, magic explainers, and Steven will even try to guess what's next. Spoiler alert, he'll be wrong.
Newsflash, I'm never wrong. Episodes come out every Wednesday, and you can find Fantasy Fan Fellas wherever you get your podcasts.
Give me a mountain with lots to do. Give me the sunshine, give me a dew. Give me something simple and true. All I need is sunshine and a cool, refreshing mountain dew. So give me my good friends, give me a dew.
Grab some friends and an ice-cold Mountain Dew today.
Mountain Dew.